Welcome. Today I'm going to do a tutorial to get a better grip on triad inversions on bass guitar. We're in the key of E flat today, and there are three ways to play an E flat major triad. The first way is this, second way is this, and the third way is this. Now, the first inversion moves the third into the bass, which means G is our bass note. And if you take your G here and starts from there, the triad goes G, B flat, E flat, which you can play in two ways, like this and like this. If you move to the second inversion, the B flat is in the bass, which means if you take your B flat here, it goes like this. There are two ways to play this as well. B flat, E flat, G, or B flat, E flat, G. Oké, dat is goed. And obviously there are more ways to play these notes in order, but the most useful thing is to remember when you don't have to shift or jump more than a major triad on the same string, which if you take some other pairs you have to do, so I won't count those. Also, an important tip is to write all these notes down when you start practicing. It's a lot of information further down this tutorial, so it's important to know which note you have to play, because it's easy to mess up and not really hear it when you practice. The relative minor of E flat is C minor, and there are three ways to play this triad melodically. If you take your C here, this is the first way, the second way, and the third way, with that open string action. If you take the first inversion, it starts on the third, aka E flat. You can play that in two ways, like this, E flat, G, C, or with that major third shift that I talked about. Now your second inversion starts on G and goes G, C, E flat, which goes like this, or like this. And the third and final chord, which you will come across in the major scale, is the diminished chord. This is on D in E flat. It's a D diminished triad, and it's right here. And you play it like this: D, F, A flat, or you can play it like this, or like this. This is kind of tricky, but it works. And now the third and final chord, which you will come across as a triad in a major scale, is the diminished chord, and in E flat major that's a D diminished chord. And there are also three ways to play this chord, this triad. The first way is this, in root position. The second one is this, and the third one is this. And when you go to the first inversion, you start again on the third, which is F, and you can play it like this, two ways, or like this. Make sure you grab this inversion F, A flat, D, like this, so your pinky can hit the D note. And the third inversion starts on A flat, and you can also play it two different ways, or which puts you back here, or. Now the main exercise is an exercise I thought of called third off. It's where you play each respective chord in the scale, but start on the third of the chord. So with E flat, that would be the note G. And it's important you pick your pattern before you start practicing. So choose for each chord which shape you want, so you don't have to think about it. And after you finish the exercise, you can change your shapes and therefore change the way you see the fretboard and think about it. So when you start on G, when playing the first chord, you get this shape. Or this is the shape that I'm going for. Now, when you move up from G, you play A flat, because that's the next note in the scale. But instead of thinking it as sort of an A flat chord, you need to think about it as an F minor chord, which it's part of. So you're playing an F minor chord, that should be in your head, but you're starting on A flat and not an A flat chord, which somehow fits into the E flat major scale. So starting from A flat is the third of the F minor chord. So you play the F minor chord, which is A flat, C, F. Now you move up to B flat, which is the third of G minor. So you play B flat, D, G. Move up to C, which is the third of A flat. So you play C, E flat, A flat. Move up to D, that's the third of B flat major. So it's D, F, B flat. You move to E flat, which is the third of C minor. So that's E flat, G, C. You move to F, which is the third of the diminished chord. So you get to play the diminished pattern or shape. So F, A flat, D. And then you finish on G. Weird enough, not on the 1 but on the third, of course, because G is the third of E flat, our 1 chord. Or in this case. Now, if you repeat the same shape over and over again, it kind of becomes a technique kind of exercise, which is not what we're going for or what I'm going for when I practice this. It's mainly to get the sound of the inversions in my head. So when I'm practicing these over and over, I get the sound of an inversion in my head. So when I'm playing, like for example, a walking bass or soloing over something, and I hear the sound of an inversion in some sort of melodic way, I don't have to think about, oh, I learned this one shape, but I'm hearing this, you know, that's a couple extra steps, and you don't want that. You want to go immediately to the things you practiced. And that's the point of this exercise, to get the sound in your head. So try different shapes, try different techniques, make your own exercises with it, but don't sleep on inversions. They're really a big thing. You can't live without them on piano or guitar, and bass people should learn them as well. It's a must. Thank you.